This is spider plant. This is spider plant here. And this was one of the many babies that were attached to it. Now, just over a week ago, maybe 10 days ago now, I popped it in a jam jar of water, and you can see it started to put out these little white roots. Now, ideally, I would leave it a wee bit longer just so it had more roots in there, but I'm not. I'm going to just pot it up today just to let you guys see. Now, this is what seems like a very small pot for this plant, but this is another wee spider plant that was potted into this wee one here, and they really do not need a lot of compost when they're just developing as young plants like this. It's best that they're kept smaller and cozier until they develop a wee bit more. So I'm going to have this one go in here and check it in a couple of weeks' time and see how its roots are developing, and then potentially pot it on. So I'm using my compost, like the seed and seedling young plant compost again. I'm just going to put a wee drop of compost in there. Then I'm just going to pop that in there. I'm just going to sniffle up with my fingers that leaf at the side. And then fill the compost round about. Just adjusting the height as I'm putting it in. I'm moving the plant about so that its leaves aren't submerged below the compost. It's just the roots. So there we are. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off these excessively long leaves. There's new growth coming in here, so I'm quite happy that we've got enough life going on that I don't need to worry about these excessively long leaves, and this will just promote and encourage new growth in the bottom here. Again, I'm going to set this in a saucer. I'm going to water from the bottom and allow the roots to develop and soak up the water from there. As I say, in a couple of weeks, I'll check it again and see how its roots are doing. We might have some evidence of roots coming out the bottom. Can't really see. Oh, there's some white roots there that you can see just ready to come out of that one. And when I do, I'll pot it into a bigger pot, something no bigger than this, because you don't want to overpot the young plants. And what I'm going to do now is, as I said, we've got this spider plant that is desperately needing potted on. Look at the roots at the bottom. They're matted, so they are. They'd nowhere to go, so they've just started to grow around one another, which is a bit of a shame. And this has been needing potted on for, gosh, a good few weeks now. I've just never got around to doing it. And I just couldn't get enough water into this plant at all because there was just no space for it, for the compost to hold on to the water. So that's why we need to make sure there's always adequate compost available to the plant. Now look at that. That is so root bound. But the good news is the roots are healthy. They're not mushy. They're firm to touch. They're just desperately needed space to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut some of the roots. There's enough roots in here that this is not going to do the plant any harm. And that's just going to free them up a little bit. Yeah. This is not a good example of how to look after the plant, but it will be the better for this, even in a few weeks' time. That I might take a picture of it and share it. You can feel how dry it is. It's unbelievable. So yeah, going back to saying that the spider plant will grow almost everywhere, it's a really hard to do. This is evidence of how hardy this plant is. So I've got two pot sizes here. That one is slightly bigger than that one. This one is much bigger. When you're potting plants on, you don't want to overpot them. You want them to move up one, maybe two sizes. We want them to have more compost available to get nutrients and have enough water, to have enough compost to have enough water retention that's adequate for the plant. But you don't want to have too much, because if you've got too much compost, you've got too many nutrients available, the plant can possibly be overfed. And if there's too much water retaining capacity, the plant can possibly never get the chance for its roots to dry out, and it can have too much water available to it. So I'm actually going to go, because this is so root bound, I'm going to go up 2 pot sizes. So this is a general purpose compost here. Put some at the bottom, which takes some back out, because I want the level of the existing compost to be below the rim of the pot. And I'm still going to take some more out because I still think it's too high. So how much is in there? There's probably about 3 centimetres of compost at the bottom of this pot now. And I'm going to, with my plant, pop it in and fill the compost round the side. Poking it down, keeping the plant, the root ball, nice and central so that these roots get the chance to spread out. Now this plant will probably need potted on in a couple of months again, because these roots will have spread out. Again, I can hear this plant talking to me saying, thank you so much. Give me a drink of water is what they're now saying. I can hear them saying that to me. There we go. Left a bit of a gap just where the watering line is, so that when I am watering it, we've got water that can sit on there and drain itself down there, like so. Well, I'll just sit it in this flower pot here, and I will give it a right good watering. Now, I'll probably water this plant every day until I'm comfortable that the new compost is holding on to enough water to help get those starving roots back on an even keel. And there we have it. I think it's already looking happier.